Narcissists are drawn to certain traits, especially when they choose their romantic partners. Empaths possess a few of these traits, which makes them irresistible like magnets to narcissists. In this video, I'm going to share with you what these traits are. More importantly, this video will explain how we can tone down this trait so that we become less appealing to narcissists, so that you are not on a narcissist radar. But first, let me share with you one of my experiences. So I have never dated a narcissist in my life, but I do have a few encounters with narcissists. Every year, I had to go back to the army and serve as a reservist, and there is this one person. Let's just call him Leonard. Leonard complained a lot about being back in the army. He liked to brag about his achievement, and he would criticize the other people he was talking to, putting them down in the process to reinforce his superior image. So a lot of people in the army don't really like him and can't stand him. In the beginning though, people would mistake that we were friends because I was the only person who would respond to him and give him attention. But the funny thing is, I don't know him before. We are just acquaintances and I only meet him once a year. He would talk to me even though I was reading a book. And once I felt so drained and irritated by his constant chatting, I held the book up to my face. But he still continues to talk to me. He was so bored and he wants someone to talk to, and he won't give up. He was going to get what he wanted. The reason why I want to share this story is that there are many other people that he could have talked to, but he chose me because empaths like me possess certain traits that are very appealing to narcissists. First of all, when the narcissist complains, the empath usually responds with compassion, or at least in my case, I was rather neutral. In the beginning, when he talked to me, I would put down my book and listen. I would respond to him. Other people, on the other hand, would show contempt or dissatisfaction towards him. They would push back against his criticism and call him out, while I would just sit there and just ignore his criticism. They will not wake him up when it's time to go home, but I won't go to that extent. So if you're a narcissist and you're looking for an ally in the army, would you go to someone who is against you, or someone who is compassionate, who will acknowledge you and validate you and give you a listening ear? Obviously, the empath. Empaths don't reject or show contempt towards others, at least outwardly. We don't push other people away or block them unless things got really bad. Even though I felt a little bit frustrated at his constant complaining, I don't say things like, "Hey, you're very irritating, just get away from me." We don't call people out like that. We may drop certain hints, hoping the other party would get it, like raising the book up to my face. I was just testing his level of empathy and how sensitive he is to other people's needs and boundaries. And apparently, narcissists feel a sense of entitlement. So if they have a need and they have decided that you are the one that's supposed to meet their needs, they will not stop trying. He was feeling bored and he needed someone to talk to, and I was the only one who is willing to listen to him. Of course, he would choose me to satisfy his needs. Luckily for me, I only see him 1 to 2 weeks a year, and later there are other empathetic people that join us, which help to reduce my burden. Another big reason why narcissists are often drawn to empath is because empath doesn't have a strong sense of self, while narcissist has a very strong sense of self that need to be upheld. So when the two come together, whose needs and agenda have priority? The narcissist. Empaths don't know what their needs are or have a clear direction of what they want. So if you are paired with someone who is very clear about their needs and what they want, of course you are going to be easily swayed by them. And this is great for the narcissist. Empaths also tend to be agreeable and enjoy giving and helping others. Narcissists, on the other hand, are constantly seeking people who can serve their agenda. They want control. Having control keeps them safe, and therefore they are attracted to people who they think they can easily control. One like to please and the other like to be pleased. On the surface, This feels like a perfect match and a perfect relationship. However, we empaths do have our needs too. We are just unsure what our needs are. When we keep giving to the point that we feel drained, that's where we realize that we do have needs. We may start feeling resentful towards the narcissist for neglecting our needs or not meeting our needs. And this is also shocking to the narcissist because in their mind, you're not supposed to have any needs. Your role is just to satisfy their needs. That's what they think they are entitled to. Because you're willing to sacrifice your needs for them, that's why they pick you in the first place. And this is when the relationships get really ugly. To ensure that their needs are met and that they are still in control, they will deploy manipulation tactics. All this can be prevented by not getting into a relationship with a narcissist in the first place. Because no one can constantly give in a relationship or be a servant to another person. It's very tiring and draining. So how can we make ourselves less attractive to the narcissist and not be on their radar? First, develop a strong sense of self. This is a big turn off for narcissists. When you know what you like and dislike, when you know what your boundaries are, you get less swayed by other people's agenda. At least you will know when someone is trying to manipulate you or sway you away from a desire. So for example, Leonard would tell me that reading is boring or make fun of what I'm reading. And what he was doing wasn't teasing alone. What he was trying to do was to distract me from what I wanted to do so that I can satisfy what he wanted from me, which was to talk to him. And I can see that. If you're just starting out in a relationship and you feel that the conversation wasn't quite balanced, the other person keeps talking about themselves, they hog the conversation and keep talking about how great they are, or let's say you want to do something, but the other person keeps dismissing it or even insult you so as to get you to follow their direction. This is a red flag. But you can only know this when you know what your needs are. Because if you are too agreeable or accommodating, it's fine, we can do anything, we can eat anything, then you don't get to test this earlier on. Even if at the end you follow the other party's direction, they must at least consider your suggestion and be respectful of your boundaries. If they are too quick to dismiss your opinions, you have to pay attention to these warning signs and don't make excuses for their behavior. Narcissists are constantly seeking people who can serve their agenda, and if they notice that you have a strong sense of self and it's difficult to control you to get what they want, they will not waste their time on you or risk getting rejected by you. They won't pay much attention to these people. They want someone who is willing to sacrifice their needs for them and not someone who requires them to compromise. It is much harder to tell when the narcissists are charming and they are bombing you with love. Love bombing is when someone gives you a lot of attention and affection with the intent to manipulate you. Be careful of what the narcissist tells you or what they claim. They may tell you that they are your soulmates or your twin flame. They may tell you that they are spiritual or empath too. These covert narcissists have a good grasp of spirituality and psychology. They know the language you're familiar with. They know what you know and they are able to twist what you know and convince you that both of you are meant to be together. Healthy empath will be able to tell if someone is genuine or not very quickly just by feeling beyond the words and action. However, if you are an empath who doesn't have good self-esteem or is constantly yearning for love, you may miss these early warning signs and think that the other person loves you so much. You may feel that no one in your life has treated you so nice before. If you are truly in a loving relationship, the other party won't put you on a pedestal and idealize you. It's very important to cultivate self-love and equanimity. So when a narcissist starts love bombing you, you won't go gaga over him. You can still appreciate their gesture, but you don't get flattered by their praises. And soon you will be able to tell whether it's a genuine compliment Or are they just trying to get you to do something? Because this love bombing doesn't last very long, and if you remain grounded, neutral, and not very moved by their flattery, they may start to lose interest in you because they realize that they can't manipulate or control you. That's why cultivating equanimity is so important. You don't get swayed by praise or criticism easily. How you feel about yourself doesn't get influenced by how others view you. Narcissists smell vulnerability and weaknesses and can easily exploit them. But if you don't give them anything to feed on, like you don't react to their manipulation tactics, you no longer serve a purpose to them and they will eventually leave you alone. If you are an empath, practice this vital skill explained in this video over here. It will help you keep narcissists away from your life.